you're listening to the Mackay T Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Brian Mackay and T Davis.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mac and T Show podcast. T, if people like college football and like high scoring, they're going to enjoy this season.
From the looks of it, because couldn't nobody guard a soul this weekend.
Yes,
It was shootouts all over the place.
Our not annual, but our
If it had been
Gators.
annual, I would have been happy because I would have got to see a couple of games. But soon as I leave, who shows up in town? The Gators.
Florida, yes.
Although in this environment, I probably wouldn't have gone, but still.
Well, Florida traveled to Ole Miss this weekend and hung a big 50-piece on the Rebels.
We was walking the ball down the field, and then we was just letting y'all walk the ball down the field, and then y'all missed a couple of walks, and we went up by.
There you go. You missed a couple walks, and y'all took advantage.
A couple of walks, and we took advantage, and then the next thing you know, it's an onside kick and a 2-point conversion, and all kinds of stuff was happening. I was like, I can't listen to this, but I kept listening because I didn't watch it.
I don't know enough about Florida's team to know whether or not, as the year goes on, their defense will improve. I do know enough about my own school to know that it's going to be a long year defensively for us. But
the good news is y'all
coming in.
The good news is Mississippi put up some points. They're gonna score some points. Not on just that fast pace. I mean, they was out there running and gunning.
Yeah, we're gonna have to outscore people, and luckily it looks like we can in some aspects. But
and I had jumped to November around Thanksgiving. Lord, I ain't trying to rush this year. We already about to hit October, but State had 44 points against LSU. I was like, man, it's gonna be about 100-some point game if Mississippi and Mississippi State still playing like this by the end of the year.
And Costello had 600 yards passing.
Something crazy.
Yeah, broke all kind of records.
4 or 5. He even had 2. He had 5 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions. He threw the ball 60 times.
Yeah,
his arm probably still hurt.
Yes. What do you think about your quarterback, Kyle Trask? He had a pretty good game.
Kyle was going to be solid. I wasn't worried about him. This defense, though, I didn't expect this defense to be this bad. Like, this defense is atrocious.
Yeah,
it looked like they was moving in quicksand. And I know Mississippi was playing fast, but I was like, y'all make it. This don't even, because I saw a few seconds of it because I saw some YouTube. My brother sent me a link that YouTube, somebody had it on. And then it was so delayed out and the little wheel kept going in the middle. I was like, no, I'll just listen to Mick Hubert do the play-by-play. And that was playing so bad, I didn't want to see it. So, but I'm thankful, Lord, for a victory. And that's all I can be is thankful. And I will say that I don't think the Rebels going to be that bad. Their offense was really clicking. They didn't have either team, both teams, because nobody had a lot of personal fouls. They had some dumb fouls. We got that, what they call it when you hit people and then you get kicked out of the game.
Oh, targeting, yeah.
They got that targeting, and then on one of the plays, Mississippi had that late hit on somebody, on the quarterback. I say somebody, and then I think it was a 3rd down, and so we got a 15-yard penalty and kept the ball, and I think wound up going down scoring. But this one on our docket, but I just want to ask your opinion.
Go ahead.
Should you get kicked out the entire game for targeting, or should it be like a quarter or 2? Like, what is your thought?
I don't feel that you should miss the entire because I was just gonna. I'm glad you brought it up because the guy from Florida that got the targeting penalty. I remember watching it as it happened. I said to myself, he's fixing to get kicked out the rest of this game because of the rule, and that wasn't his intent. He was not trying to. It just happened to be the way it falls, and I think that's the way a lot of those targeting penalties are, and it's unfortunate because the player is not maliciously, you know, going for, and it just happens to fall that way when they're going in for the tackle.
And I'm not
And
just saying this because it was Florida. I'm just saying
right,
across the board. Some of these plays they look like okay when the guy on the ground and you go head first at him or something. Like some of them they do look like they have malintent. But
hmm
sometimes it just be like it's they going fast. I don't know when this throw your shoulder in for a tackle start happening, but that's a new thing.
hmm
Instead of grabbing people like I thought they was taught to do. But I was like, should you get kicked out the whole game for making that one error? I can see if you have two, or if you be like in the red box, the penalty box, like in hockey, like you
yeah,
gotta sit out a quarter.
I think we'll be spending way too much time because they already spend too much time going and looking and reviewing it.
Well, even if they just say if you get another one, you gone.
Right, maybe that could be something they could
Beside
do.
the intent, like you gonna miss a quarter. So if it happened half and half, you're gonna miss the middle. You'll be out until the same point in time in the second. So if it happened at the 10-minute mark, then you can't play until the 10-minute mark of the third quarter, whatever. Like however they want to make the quarter.
Yes, and then that'll be another job. See, we creating jobs for other people because that could be somebody's job to keep up with that. You know,
Yeah, because it happens, but it doesn't happen that often. And I just think sometimes you're just like this, like that happened, bang bang. After the fact, you say he defenseless. During the time when I was sprinting over here, I didn't know where that ball was going. All I know is I gotta hit him and try to knock it loose. Then whoops, the ball went way over his head. Now y'all saying he defenseless. I had no way of knowing that when I was sprinting towards him.
see, see all these people losing jobs during the pandemic, and we creating
We
them. Thank
trying to
you,
help somebody.
praise the Lord.
Georgia didn't look good, although I don't care because they bounced back, but they looked a little sloppy at the beginning.
No,
Um,
they. I didn't see all of that game, but yeah, the little bit I did watch.
See, 52 points. Miami beat, and I don't care about either of these teams, but Miami beat them Florida State by. I don't know what. I don't want Florida State to be good because I don't like them, but they gonna have to start running around. That's what they get for firing that black coach, um, and not giving that man another year or two to develop a team. And now y'all still losing.
Yeah, they did not give him the time that they would have given.
A white male coach, yes. Go ahead and say it. So, Texas A&M,
Oh, look, I forgot we was on the audio medium. Uh,
Texas A&M, y'all need
they
to
they
get it
listen.
together because Alabama gonna drill y'all if y'all can't get but 17 points against Vanderbilt. That
Vanderbilt is
hey
the worst team in the SEC, and y'all can't score no more than 17.
hey CBS, y'all need to get another game on that. Three is that a 3:30 game next week?
I don't know.
Hey, y'all need to get another game on that.
It
It's
usually
got to
is
be
because
a
that's
better
usually the
game.
Alabama. That's the Alabama
Yeah,
hour.
that's a 3:30 game. Y'all got to get another game. Auburn, Georgia. Well, maybe that's gonna be on at 7:30. Maybe that's gonna be on CBS. Nope, it's gonna be on ESPN. So, well, maybe ESPN stole that one from y'all, cause that's gonna ain't nobody gonna watch that but Alabama fans.
Coming into this season, they had Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond as the two uh, potential quote unquote Joe Burrow types. They could just lead us up to a Heisman candidate.
I
And
don't think Cal Trask that
yeah,
good, but I mean,
well,
we'll see how good this offensive line is.
Joe Burrow wasn't thought of as that much before last year. So
Yeah, but I say that because flexibility wise, have you seen him run? If he had to move any kind of run, and he can do enough to get maneuver out of the pocket and make him a lane, but if this
I,
offensive line, I don't think. Mississippi could challenge the line enough for me to feel good about this shit.
Now
I
you
got to
need,
see us play a better team and see how this offensive line gonna hold up.
yeah, that's definitely something that would be worth watching. Let's see. You have anything else about the college football? The official first week of college football.
Right,
I
because
got
that other
so
mess, I
many
don't know what the
people.
other mess was that they
So
was doing.
many people were writing me, like, being facetious friends of mine, that work in the other conferences, and
Tell them that
just
there ain't no football over there.
listen. I'm just letting y'all know, because that Texas game was a basketball score. It was basketball. It wasn't football.
And nobody like until the SEC play, it's just not. It ain't right. It ain't football until we playing.
And now it's back. Um, Speaking of football, NFL week 3, Russell Wilson continues his MVP candidacy with another just back to back 5 touchdown performance, um, leading his Seahawks over the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm gonna tell you who else is up there in the MVP race: Josh Allen for the Bills. 3 straight 300-yard passing games, and 3-0. They beat the Rams yesterday, and that's my quarterback. That's fantasy
Now he your
football. That's my
quarterback.
quarterback.
Oh, he your quarterback. Okay, I was like, when did
Yeah.
this happen?
So he 3-0. I'm 3-0. That's how we rolling.
Now you cheering for Josh Allen.
Listen, this man, if he leads me to the championship this year, because I'm in a league that I lost the championship last year. Lost in the championship game. The 3 years prior to that, I won this league. So I was mad because I was going for my 4-peat,
Mm-hmm.
and they messed up my 4-peat. But I got Josh Allen. If he lead me back to my championship ways in this league, because I
Oh
run my
Lord.
mouth so bad in this league because I'm just dominant. So if he leads me back to the championship, I might consider getting a Bills jersey. I might have to get
Are
me
you
a
playing
Buffalo
against
Bill.
your nieces and nephews?
No.
Oh.
No, no, no. One day I will get a family league
You
put
talking
together.
trash to these babies. You beating up on
No,
these
I
babies.
wouldn't do that. Not until
Yes,
they
you
get of
would.
age. Look, they gotta
Yes, you
get of
would.
age first.
Well, what's his name? The Seahawks. He living his best life. He got his little family, got his little baby with his wife now.
Sierra's husband.
He don't stop it. He has he already told us he was the best quarterback in the NFL. Was that week 1?
I think
So
so. Yeah,
try and live it out.
yeah. He's playing very well right now. And it's just amazing. A player that has been hurt. Pretty much the last couple of years. He's off and on in his injuries, and he's healthy. He's got a bunch of weapons around him. It's amazing what great players can do. Cam Newton, perfect example of that as well. Healthy for the first time in a few years. Got a bunch of weapons around him in New England, and they're rolling.
Well, Aaron Rodgers was like, "Hey, don't forget I'm out here balling a little bit."
Out there just putting it on the Saints last night in that shootout.
Yeah, I think the defenses are lagging behind for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Saints' problem is Michael Thomas is hurt. I'm not going. I'm a hold judgment until he gets back.
Well, I'm
Because
not. Well,
they're
Michael
a different
Thomas play
team.
defense. What do he do? He's some kind of special defensive player.
No, but he can help
Okay,
outscore
well,
the
if
other
you
team.
giving up 30 points, your defense need to be better. I don't know what to,
Penalties is what's killing the Saints. Defensive
hey,
penalties.
whatever it is, that's even worse. It's one
All
thing
right.
if you just getting outplayed, but if you doing knucklehead stuff and
Like
giving up
Malcolm
free yardages,
Jenkins at the end of the game last night when Green Bay was up 3 and they're driving and you're trying to stop them to get another chance to get the ball back. Rodgers throws a pass out. Well, first of all, I can't think of his name on the line, went off sides for the Saints.
mhm.
So Rodgers had a free play. He throws the ball to the end zone. Malcolm Jenkins is holding the receiver by the arm. I mean, just got him in a full lock.
Oh Lord.
And it's gonna argue why they called a pass interference. So now, instead of being just the 15, whatever it is for the
Well,
offside,
that's a
now we're down there
yeah,
by
that's
the
a
end
spot
zone.
foul.
Yes,
Uh-uh.
and that put they gave them another touchdown. They put them up 10, and that was pretty much the game there. So
Well,
yeah,
better luck next time. Good luck in film when they show that little clip.
You have any other NFL observations?
Um, I bet some. Now I might. Didn't they get on some people for not wearing their masks? I bet some people put their mask on.
The coaches, and Lord have mercy, I never realized how much they actually show the coaches during the game. But it seemed like and I was watching the red zone, which is nothing but, just showing you when teams are in position to
To
score.
score,
And
right?
they were still showing the coaches on that, like every 10 seconds you saw a coach. And them suckers had their mask on.
Yeah, they ain't
They
trying
wasn't
to get
getting,
that penalty. And you
mm,
know what's funny? I didn't see, like I said, I didn't see all of the Florida game, but um, well, is his name Mullen? Lord, I can't even think of his name. Anyway, he got the mask up.
Dan. Mm-hmm.
They ain't got the mask up.
Excuse me.
And then you know how they always had they play card up and hold it over their mouth. I was
Oh,
like, what
yeah.
are you doing? They really can't read your lips. I know this is a habit, but what are you doing? Can
Yeah,
nobody see through this mask? I
that's
thought that was
definitely
funny every
habitual.
time I
That's
see one of
funny.
these. You know.
In fact, because of that, because of the coaches always blocking their face, I thought they would actually like having the face mask on because you know how they're so secretive about that.
Yeah. So I was like, why you got that thing over your mouth like we can see what you saying through this mask? Anyway, I thought that was funny.
Hilarious. Yeah. So let's see. Moving on to WNBA. Uh,
Ballin', we fly.
so yesterday, no, I'm scared. Excuse me. Let me get my stuff straight. Yes, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes. Seattle Storm finished out the Minnesota Lynx. They have moved on to the WNBA Finals, and they await their opponent because the Connecticut Sun, who were the only team I believe that made the playoffs with a losing overall record,
Uh-huh.
are giving the Las Vegas Aces all kind of fits and have forced a game 5, which will be played, I believe, on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday the 29th, game 5 in that series. And Las Vegas is the team with Asia Wilson and pretty much between them and Seattle for the best record all year long. And Seattle, eh, Las Vegas has a very good team, but Seattle has at least 5, just bona fide starting lineups on their roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be very interesting. And no offense to Connecticut, but they're kind of like the Denver Nuggets to me. Y'all had a good run, but it's time for y'all to go sit down and let the big dogs play because Las Vegas and Seattle need to be in this finals so I
Well,
can
they
really,
better do
really
what they
enjoy
need
it.
to do to get there. They both won. So
Yes. They're 2-2 right now. Game 5 is Tuesday, like I said.
they only do 5 games.
Mhm.
This like game 7.
This is it.
When to go on.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, so yeah, I need Las Vegas and Seattle to, and I'm gonna watch it regardless. But I need Seattle and Las Vegas to be in there because I've been looking forward to that matchup all year long.
Well, Adam trying to get her uh uh WNBA title early, ain't it?
Got the MVP this year, so she trying to take
Oh,
care of
I
all
ain't
her
know she
spots.
got that.
Yeah, she was named MVP.
Wow. Now I
Hmm.
need to watch more. Well, I can't watch more because sometimes I flip on and they on ABC or some NBC, one of them stations, but I never know when because I'm still mad that she wasn't better in college. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted her to have some more moves, some more drop steps, and not just. That's the lefty, right, for South Carolina.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, I want her to be better. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, your Lakers
Oh yeah,
finished off. Speaking of the Nuggets, your
yeah.
Lakers went ahead and put them to bed, and I think because the media loves to gravitate towards your boy.
Drama.
Yeah, they
They make
love to.
anything he do drama.
Yeah, and he knows it. Yeah, bless his heart, he knows.
Well, I
And
mean, I know, but what can he do about it?
nothing, absolutely nothing. And he sat there and looked like he was almost mad that they won. The way they had that picture of him sitting
Yeah,
there on
he's
the
sitting there
floor.
on the floor like
And
he was sitting there saying, "I'm dog tired. Can this be over with?"
I mean, he's
So I could go get in the ice tub.
yes. So um, let's see some of the storylines they kind of that you're gonna hear all week long is because Miami finally put out Boston. You're gonna hear
Oh,
LeBron
that's
versus
good.
Pat Riley. Like Pat Riley's gonna play one
Pat
second.
Riley ain't playing 2 minutes.
Yes, you're gonna hear that, and that the whole dynamic with him leaving the Heat and supposedly didn't get all the access to his friends and whatever. You're gonna hear about all that
All of
all
that.
week long. I might just turn the TV off until the games
Yeah.
because I don't want
I
to hear
won't be
that.
watching any of that. I don't want to hear how the Lakers had the easy road when this started. Oh, they got to go through Portland, who was on fire. They got to go through Houston, who playing small ball. That's gonna be tough. And then Denver is, oh, they came back twice from 3-1, and now everything easy. Really?
Right.
So I don't want to hear how they had an easy road. Um, I just if I do go to, well, I probably won't today because I don't want to hear it. But normally I go and hear what Shannon had to say because Shannon Sharp is hilarious. And so when he be coming out there with that goat mask on, I just can't. I'm undone.
How about the baby goat that he had for Anthony Davis?
Just yes. And then when they won, he talking about this the new California area code 323. I was like, what are we doing? Uh, him and Nick Wright and Snoop Dogg, they all had me laughing with how they were acting when they won. And I was like, Nick Wright, can you be? I guess if you like a team, you like a team, and you just because he don't really be acting like he impartial in no way when it comes to the Lakers. Him or Shannon, and it's very clear what team they like. I don't know. I guess since they not writing and they just giving their opinion live on TV, I don't think it matters.
Oh, not to go backwards, but did you see when Anthony Davis rolled his ankle?
I
I thought
did.
for sure. I thought for sure y'all season was over.
It
Oh
would
my
have
god.
been if he had heard it.
Oh my god. It bent, and I was like, oh, and this is for everybody out there that's either rolled or sprained their ankle at one point in their life. You felt it in your ankle when that boy's ankle turned like that. I know I
I'm
felt
glad
it in
I ain't
mine.
see it because I would have just
Man,
been on the verge of tears because he get, Lord, thank you that this young man been healthy. I'm just say that, Amen. And he was able to bounce back. He got a couple of days now. He can ice and do his treatments, and by Wednesday he should be ready to rock and roll like that when they start.
yeah, Wednesday, and by time we uh record next Monday, they will have had 3 games in. So,
Good Lord, they trying to
hmm
get this out the way.
yeah, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, 1, 2, 3. Speaking of Monday, I forgot to say this at the beginning, but 100th episode for the Mac and T
Oh,
show
sure.
coming up on Monday.
Watch out, world.
Yes, October 5th. Look out. So, yeah, uh, Miami and LA should be interesting.
It should be. And I don't want to. You know what I saw though well, I'll wait. But if we win, I saw because I need to put them side by side. LeBron was dribbling and pointing like magic.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody caught a shot of it. I don't know where I saw it. I was like, oh no, is this a homage to Magic? He
That's
ain't
funny.
had a tape on the finger, but he was dribbling and he was pointing to something like setting up the play. I was like, that picture you got me. I was just like, oh, is that I need that in my life. But go ahead. That's only if we win it all.
Yes. Well, keeping with a little bit of basketball talk, our what if for this week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I told everyone last week our what if for this week was going to be top 5. what if? I meant top 5 for this week. Excuse me. Top 5 for this week is going to be the basketball what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a list prepared?
Well, in my mind, I do. I ain't writing nothing down.
That's fine.
Go ahead. You know you saw these.
Okay. Well, again, no particular order, but I have. excuse
And
me.
I just want to say I cheated, and because I just made whatever I wanted to on this list. Go ahead.
Um, my no. Okay. Well, here I'll just go ahead and lay it out there. Jason Williams, Jay Williams,
Mm-hmm.
former Duke point guard,
Mm-hmm.
that was drafted by Chicago Bulls and then wound up getting injured in a motorcycle accident.
Motorcycle. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and basically derailed his career, ended his career, but now he's on ESPN. But I just remember him because I was a Carolina fan. I remember just hating when his Duke team would come around because he scared me to death. He could score at will, and I just knew when he got in the league, especially because he got drafted to my Bulls, I
Mm-hmm.
just knew that, okay, Bulls are fixing to really do something here because he's fixing to just go crazy. I just thought he was perfect, as far as NBA, you know, NBA talent, and it just hurt me to see him kind of fall like that with his injuries. And I'm glad he's found him a spot on ESPN. That's really nice, and he does a good job. I think he gets a little
Sometimes.
controversial sometimes. Yeah, it gets a little. So, but he's got him his own little show now. Him and Keyshawn and Zubin in the morning. I have not seen one episode yet. I'm sad to say, but yeah, apparently it's doing well. So moving on from him, I looped these two together because they basically would have been playing together for the Celtics. But like I talked to you about last week, Len Bias and Reggie Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they were fixing to keep the Celtic train right on rolling after Bird, McHale, and Parrish went off into glory. Uh, I thought that they could have kept it rolling, and Len Bias just a tale of what kids need to hear about over and over and over again about who you hang out with and what you're doing when you hang out with those people, and you know, a little cocaine here and there, and you see where he went, and then Reggie Lewis with his heart issues, and just disappointing altogether that something like that goes undetected for so long, and then it just you know took his life. But yeah, those were two that would have been really good together, I believe. Um, let's see, my next is Sean Kemp,
Mm-hmm.
the Rain Man. I was just he was just an absolute beast when he was a player. I mean, him and Gary Payton gave the Bulls fits in the finals. There, I think it was '97, no '96. I'm sorry. It was Michael's first final back after retirement. Yeah, that if it wasn't for just injuries, just derailing him, he would have been something special. My next is Grant Hill. If he
Oh,
would have stayed on the bench, if he just did not come back
ain't
after he
even
hurt
his
his
fault.
ankle, now if he would have just stayed down, because the next year he signs that massive contract with Orlando, him and Tracy McGrady together would have been something nice to see. And man, just imagine. That's a huge what if for me. Let's see. Oh, and my last, and I go back on this one, but Ralph Sampson, if he hadn't have got, all his injuries. But I just feel like back in those days, bigger players with injuries was more commonplace because they just didn't have the research and the technology to help them. But if he hadn't gotten hurt as bad as he had, with his knees and his back problems, him and Hakeem Olajuwon could have been a dynamic duo for a few years. I mean, they made it to the finals against LA, and I think it was '86
Mm-hmm.
when they beat no, when they beat LA to make it to the finals against Boston. Excuse me.
That mess junk shot. I'm still mad
Yeah,
about it. I'm still mad. And I
but
wasn't
that's
even,
my
I was little when that happened. I'm still mad though. every time I see it.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, that's my 5.
This is just me being petty. What if the refs don't cheat or the judges don't cheat and give Michael Jordan a 50 on that dunk contest in Chicago when nobody's ever missed a dunk and then come right back and do the same dunk and got a 50? I don't care that he jumped just inside the free throw line. Dominique Wilkins, if you listening, no, you should have won that dunk contest, and it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, I mean, it's not now, but at the time, I was just like, I can't believe they just doing this. Anyway, that's one of my what ifs. These, uh, what if, Lord, I don't know why all these around Michael Jordan, and I don't care nothing about him. But what if Michael Jordan had got drafted by Portland and went to play with Clyde Drexel? Wonder how that would have turned out. Dun, dun, dun. Interesting. What if um Shaq and Kobe could have got along? How many championships could they have won? And they ain't have to be best friends, just get along.
Yes, I mean, it's time has shown that, especially in basketball. I don't know how it is in other sports, but in basketball, you don't have to really like each other to be able to play
Right.
together.
Um,
Jeff Pearlman has a book about their years in LA. Just came out.
oh,
Everybody
you
should go
do?
read. Yes, just
What is it
came out.
called?
Golly, something to do.
Oh Lord, well look it up. All right, we'll
Go
come back
ahead,
to it.
with your list.
Um, I was about to go outside of NBA, so I had to pull myself back together. Uh, what if the Lakers don't trade Ball? Uh, what's his name? They put the house to get Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? Are we sitting at home or are we still in the bubble? That's a rhetorical question.
Yes, I
But
know.
you know, I had some. I was like, I love my cousin. God, we giving up everything for this. Um, and this just recent because it's on my mind, and I'm just curious. What if a Poochie chick, whatever his name is, don't put his foot on a Kawhi when he shoot that 3 and twist his ankle, and he able to actually keep playing through that series? Because then they go up like 2-0 or something, or
Yeah, I believe so. I think that's right.
um, or
Mm.
they would have went up 2-0 and then he got hurt and it all fell apart. Um,
Yeah, that's interesting. I think as
or
far
what
as the
if
Lakers,
Kawhi still playing for San Antonio? I know I'm going past my 5.
no, that's fine. I,
Eh,
as you've been known to do, but that's fine.
yeah, I play by my own rules sometimes.
Well, everybody plays the fool. Uh,
Yep, but I play by my
no.
own rules. You know, I need to see if that's something in the Bible.
Well, just going off of yours, I am the most unbiased.
You
I'm the most
biased.
biased person in the
You
world when
biased.
it comes to Michael Jordan,
Yep,
and
you are.
I can tell you that Dominic Wilkins deserved to win that slam dunk
Thank you for
contest.
thank you because
I can say with confidence he deserved to win that.
bruh, you missed the dunk, then you come back get a 50. Come on,
All right,
you get a deduction just for missing it. We
all
don't
right.
care if you came back, but he was got home cooking, and that's okay. You know what I
Um,
should have put on? I'm gonna just add me another what if.
Go
What
ahead.
if 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 LeBron had been coached by a all-star coach like a
Early
Phil?
on in his career, because later
Yeah,
on, I don't think it matters. But early on, yeah, maybe. And I honestly, a couple of more pieces. I think Paul Silas could have been good for him if Shaq hadn't have got hurt when he was playing with him. I think that could have been different. There's
well,
another what if Shaq had not, started his injury train when he
well, if
was
Shaq had just
popping
stayed in shape, how
that.
good could that have been for him? Just besides being with the Lakers. Well,
The
part of
book,
it with him and Kobe might not have fallen out so much because that was part of their deal, from what I
yeah,
understand.
the Jeff Pearlman book, during what I talked about when you talked about Shaq and Kobe. I should have known this. It's called Three Ring Circus.
Oh Lord,
Kobe, Shaq, and Phil in the crazy years of the Lakers dynasty.
I'm sure that was some craziness too.
It's in
You
stock.
got 3 championships out of it. Thank y'all for being able to work it out.
In stock on October 8th for all those actual book readers and don't read it on digital. So
Yeah, I want to hold a book in my hand. It's hard for me to read online.
the Anthony
Well,
Davis trade, and I guess you throwing another wrinkle in it when you have to say, well, if they don't make that trade, do they get the first pick, and then do they get Zion?
yeah, interesting.
So yeah,
No, I like yeah, Davis. The only thing I was worried about was him with injury, and he's been able to make this season. Lord, thank you. I don't have no wood to knock on, but thank you. Please keep him healthy. I do want to say, well, since we was talking about books, I am interested in, when John Thompson got a new book come out. I came as a shadow or something. I think it's the name of it. It's not
I
out
didn't even know
yet.
that.
It come out December the 15th. And I just found out about it listening to a podcast, and the lead guy on the podcast had the author that worked with John to write his biography, and he was telling some of the stuff, and I was like, I didn't even know this stuff about John Thompson. I need to read this book, because I don't know why I didn't know he was the first and the only black head coach to win a national championship till recently.
Yeah, until the boy from Connecticut.
Huh? What happened in Connecticut?
Well, the guy that coached Connecticut after, isn't he the next one?
No, I don't think nobody else won one.
I could have swore that what's his name? I'm wrong. I could be wrong about that.
Because I think they
Yeah,
lost.
I think they did. You're right. You know my brain. I came as a shadow, an
Yeah, I came
autobiography.
as a shadow. I
Oh,
think
they
it's
come
gonna
out on
be
my
a
dad.
good read.
Oh, that's my birthday gift to my dad because
Tell your
December
dad, yeah,
15th.
look, I want you to read this and then let me read it when you finish. Happy birthday.
Yeah, and then we'll send it to T.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know he had wanted to go to Georgetown. They was like, we don't take black people here. So he wound up going
Mm,
somewhere else. And then a couple of years down the road, hey, can you come coach for us? We
that's
want a black coach.
of course they do. Man.
And I guess they say the rest is history. We know what happened with Allen Iverson. Well, I don't think a lot of people know, and I know that we ain't got that on the docket. But if you ever come across his thing on Netflix, what happened to him in high school and all that out there, he almost got railroaded. Which can bleed into our next story of railroading America, Breonna Taylor story. Go ahead and take it on.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. So Breonna Taylor, the system is just absolutely not. It's not for her, and it's not. It's really cause of all the
Brian, it's
fact
not
that
for
she
her.
didn't
Just go on and say the truth. Tell the people what it's not for.
tell the truth and shame the devil.
Shame him.
It
Shame him.
ain't. It's not for colored people.
Thank you. Black people. It's not for black people. It ain't made for.
I mean, and when I got the notification that there was going to be no, you know, charges brought up on those police officers, and the only one they charged anything with was the one that they fired, and they charged him with wanton endangerment of Breonna Taylor's neighbors.
So it ain't even had nothing to do with her.
No.
You just put the other people in danger because you was firing recklessly.
So this is my question, and I know that the law is, and that's part of the problem. People don't understand, and part of the Black Lives Matter movement is wanting laws to be changed, and and it, I know the law is what it is, and they had to go by what the law says, but who do you think killed this woman? Do you think her boyfriend shot her? Her boyfriend fired a warning shot at people he thought was breaking into their apartment.
Yeah. Which is
I-
against all rights. Within his rights. He was a legal, lawful
He
gun
lived in
owner
Kentucky
according
where
to
he
the
can,
Second
right?
Amendment.
Yes,
You have a right to protect your home. I don't know that there's a state that you don't have a right to do that.
they need to just change their law too. You have a right to protect your home unless you're black,
Right.
because apparently you don't when you're black.
And then they tried to get him to lie and say she was some drug conspiracy. I was like, y'all, what did y'all think y'all was gonna offer this as a deal to this man and he wasn't gonna tell it? That's just ignorance.
And
Um,
and the other part, they had the person they were looking for already in custody. That
right.
they were just going out there looking for more evidence on the person they already had in custody. So
But they didn't even know they had the man in custody. Why? Because the judge gave a blanket uh warrant. So they could go. They had a warrant for several places.
such a chain of command of people who deserve responsibility in this. The police officers, the judge that clearly was just signing off on warrants.
Yeah, go ahead and do whatever you want to
Yeah,
do. Basically.
and then Daniel Cameron, who Trump disciple, who is up there smiling so big at the Republican National Convention.
Well, all skin folks ain't kin folks, as we say. So don't go by the color of his skin. Let me just say this. Um, all y'all out here protesting, I want y'all to come inside. I need y'all to come in. I need y'all to get your rest. I need y'all to get ready to go out here and vote. Why I say
Yes.
this? Because I need to, and I want everybody to share this with whoever they can reach. So I don't heard Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club. Why do they keep saying vote? And I was like, Charlamagne, I thought you was an intelligent young man. You know, you got some books out here. You act like you got some sense most of the time.
Carries himself like a very, very smart
So what do
person.
you mean? Do I need to vote? Well, one reason you need to vote is not just for this president, but let's start at the top of the food chain.
Mhm.
With this administration, if you think the Department of Justice is going to come in and look at this and see, let's make sure everything on the up and up here, good luck with that. And that's part of why you vote for these positions, the Congress, or the executive branch decides who's going to be running the Department of Justice, Department of Labor, Department of Education, Housing, um, and we got a neurosurgeon running housing, and a woman that's never teached or did anything around education run the education department. But that's neither here nor there. We back to this case. So besides that aspect, how do you think that this attorney general got his job? Somebody voted for this to happen.
Mhm.
How do you think these judges get in place? People vote for the judge to be in place. People vote for sheriffs and all of these positions, not all, but most of them come, especially if they're the head person in charge, they those positions are voted in. That's why you need to vote. And they need to know that, okay, because Cameron knows that ain't nothing gonna happen to him. He'll be voted in again, or he'll run for a high position, and the 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 rich white men and Republicans, they'll be like, you did a good job. We gonna help you move up this chain that he probably want to move to be a governor or something one day, or mayor or some high aspiration. So this is why you need to vote. It's not just about the president, although it is about the president. Because let me tell y'all something. I'm on my soapbox now, Brian. I'm gonna just tell you right now.
Go ahead, get up there.
Let me tell y'all something. All of these people that Republicans that just seem to be okay, you maybe don't care about how Trump doing business, but you fine with Republicans or Republican ideology, what they call it, conservative, having the majority in the Supreme Court. Because if this woman go through it, it'll be like 6-3. Okay, so I just want you to be ready for this. This man is already plotting. I sent you that article on how he's trying to shake this up so he can stand in power as long as he can.
Yeah,
Okay.
King Trump. Yes.
No, he okay, that's a joke. He want to be king, but anyway, but he
I know.
trying to set it up, and he got the pieces in place. He trying to make it messy. He already done told people to go out and vote twice. He already got his lawyers ready to go take it to court if it's any kind of way close to say, well, he didn't think these mail-in ballots should count. All those kind of little things he got in place. All right. So back to my point. Now, while y'all think y'all have freedoms, well, guess what? You think it's okay to say, well, if y'all out here with Black Lives Matter and protesting this, that it's going to be a felony? Because the state of Tennessee has already passed a law, which is illegal because I have a right to voice my grievance against my country according to the First Amendment in a peaceful protest.
Right.
But they have made a law that says if you get caught protesting or whatever, they can give you a felony and take away your right to vote. What you think this Department of Justice gonna look into that and be like, no, you can't do that? No. So while it's on us, next time you want to go out and say I don't want to wear a mask, they could come for you. And it might not be a mask next time. It might be something else that you don't like. And they'll be like, well, you protesting against this. We don't agree with that. And so we're gonna give you a felony charge. Also, let's take it up to the food chain. Federal judges. He has put over 200, almost 200 federal judges in place. How many of them black, Brian? None. I'm glad you knew the answer to that.
Yes,
Not
yes.
one. Not
Tell
one.
them.
But all this stuff he doing for black people. Because I don't care if they black Republicans or Democrats. You couldn't find one black person to be a federal judge. Interesting. Out of like almost 200.
But oh my gosh, he's done more for black people than any
Than
president
any
ever.
president in the
Come
world.
on.
So back. So okay. So you take that right. He can if they pull this off. Again, they'll have 6 conservative, 3 I don't know, independent, whatever you want to call the other 3. You better know they first thing they coming for is what, Brian? Abortion. I'm glad you knew the answer to that.
Oh, I was gonna say abortion. I actually did know that because I know their stance on that. Yes.
They are the first thing they coming for. Women, 53% of white women that voted him for last time. They coming for your right to do whatever you need to with your body, whether that is for medical reasons or not. You may have to die because they say no, in your state you cannot get an abortion, or in
Right.
the states surrounding you they may say the same thing, whether it's going to cause you to die or not. Guess what they probably come for at some point? Oh, you want to take maternity leave? No, because maternity leave has been like a struggle to get that for women. And then when they asked for it for men, it was just like, what? Men don't need it, but they gotta take care of kids too. You think they won't come for that?
No, they coming.
Good luck. And so you can think about other things that they gonna come for that we take for granted. Civil Rights Act. Civil Rights Act don't just have black people.
No.
That covers your race, your religion, your sex, all of that. If it goes up the food chain, federal court or Supreme Court, he got people in place that's going to agree with him. Ask the 1 million plus Floridian felons that the state voted on to say, yes, we should give our neighbors their right to vote back. They did their time. We want them to have their right to vote. Oh, the Republicans, they said, no, we don't want that to happen because we would lose this state if any increment of them are Democrat. So what are we going to do? We're going to say, no, they shouldn't get their right to vote back unless they can pay all their fines and fees and restitution back. Well, let's take this to court. Oh, it goes to a federal court in which 5 of those federal judges were appointed by Mitch McConnell and under Trump's administration. And they was like, we agree with you. Even though that would be called illegal because you should not, is it peonage? What's the word for it? When they try to make people pay to vote.
Bennett, no.
Anyway,
Yeah, I
It's
know what you're saying.
illegal to be trying to make somebody pay to vote. You got a right to vote. Allegedly, I don't know that that's in the Constitution. That's in one of the amendments, but and that amendment happened because what black people was trying to vote, fight to get that right. It wasn't necessarily a right that's necessarily written in the Constitution that you have a right to vote. And and so for in closing, voting is important and it touches so many aspects of our lives that may seem tangential, but if you think about it, why you're the way everything is set up is because somebody that was voted in a position made a decision on how this thing would work, whether it be the mayor, the governor, the president, the House of Representatives. Well, oh, all y'all out here struggling? Thank you, God, that that is not my story. Um, but guess why you ain't get another $1,200 check? And why they keep paying billionaire airlines and all them money, but you on struggle bus worried about if you're gonna be homeless in the next couple of months. Oh, because Congress is sitting around and the House residents, all of them. No, we're not gonna vote on that. We don't think they should even get $600 a month because then they would be making more than they make when they work. Well, how about you raise the minimum wage and then that wouldn't be a thing? How about that? You have the power to do that, Department of Labor and Congress. But no, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so on this soapbox.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
fine. And no, all that is very good. And just to reiterate, it's not just voting on November 3rd. Yes,
No, no,
vote
no,
then,
that's
but vote
amen.
on all your state elections, everything from the top to the bottom.
From the bottom, from the rooter to the tooter.
And and just as far as and just to keep on the theme of Trump and his administration and black people, if you want to know how he actually, to forget about what he says, you want to know how he actually feels about people of color, please listen to the latest episode of Mea Culpa podcast by Michael Cohen. And I know people may feel how they want to feel about him and the fact that he was under Trump's, um, guys and just followed him until it basically turned
Well,
around on him.
he seen the light.
Yeah.
Just like Paul had to see the light. He was out here killing Christians. And Lord showed him the light, blind him. He said, look, you gotta get yourself together. You gonna work for me now and stop out here killing my people.
Well,
Now
the
I ain't
latest,
saying that Michael Cohen is in no Christian and this ain't the same, but
right?
but people can turn around and see the error of their ways. And apparently he has had some come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah. Well, he has Omarosa, who is a whole nother character in herself, but he has her on his
Well,
podcast,
I'm
and
glad because we was worried that Mama Rosa was missing because she said she had recorded her conversations.
they
And I had
play
seen.
they play some recordings on the podcast. It's interesting. Yes.
So I gotta listen to all of that because I didn't hear all. You had sent me one. I bet you it's probably one of them ones. Anyway, this is why we need to vote, people. Again, I wasn't aware of this, and it's okay. As long as you learn, when you know better, do better. Don't. If you can go out and vote physically, whether that's early voting or on the day of, please do so because this needs to be a landslide. Be prepared to see his people out there trying to be a deterrent with as many flags and loud
Mhm.
and being obnoxious. Get your headphones ready and put your earbuds in so you can just ignore the foolishness and go on and get to your line and vote for whoever you want to. If you wear it, go get you a Make America Great Again hat. Even if you're a Democrat, they ain't gonna know what you check when you get in that box. They don't. So
Yeah.
if you gotta to do what was the thing where they hid, it's a when they hid in the they gave a gift to the in that big ship thing, but then the army
Oh,
came out.
the Trojan
You gotta
horse.
be a Trojan horse
Yes.
and put your fake
Yeah.
Trump stuff. Go, even if you just get a red hat, they ain't gonna be smart enough to know that you ain't voting for Trump. They go buy you a little red
Trust
baseball
me,
hat or
Nick,
something.
the ones that'll be out there waving and with their signs and stuff for this man, they're not going to be intelligent enough to know the difference.
Yeah, just get you a little red hat and be nodding when they acting a fool and go on in there and do what you need to do. They do not know who you voted for.
Keep
Um,
your head up, your eyes forward, and go.
and keep moving forward. Okay, I'm off of my soapbox now.
Oh,
That
boy.
that's I was just wanted to share that because I'm tired of people saying, "Well, what voting matter?" That's what
Yeah,
voting matter.
right. So all we have left on my side of the docket is Samson and Delilah.
Romeo and Juliet. Dun, 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 dun. Samson and Delilah. Ain't that a song?
If it sounds
Not
like
because I
it sounds
made
like
it, but
in
I think it's a real
right.
song in my brain. Oh Lord, I need to get my life together.
That's hilarious.
'Cause it just, in a few words, it make me think it's pop into a song and be like, is that a real song or is it just in my head? All right, so it is time for Bible stories, brought to you by the Bible. Our first story comes from you from Judges 16. Everybody plays the fool. In Judges 16, we meet a young man by the name of Samson. And Samson does not seem to be a good judge of character, and he has trouble making good selections when he chooses relationships. So, in chapter 16, first let's go back. When Samson was born, his mother said he was going to be put him under Nazarite vow, which meant his hair wouldn't be cut, he wouldn't touch dead things, drink wine, all these things. And so he knew these things, and because you gotta instill them in the young man, because otherwise he ain't gonna know that he can't do this stuff. So he knows this. So in chapter 16, he's like, Mom, Dad, I want this Philistine woman. And we know the Philistines and Israel don't get along, but he want this Philistine woman. They like, boy, you can do better than that. No, I want her. So verse 4, ultimately they get him the young lady that he wants. Now, this is when we start to I put in question like Samson's choices. Now, Samson puts this riddle out to the Philistine playing games, and he's he based the riddle off of him eating some honey out of the carcass of a lion or something. But anyway, she is like, well, tell me what the riddle is. Tell me what the riddle is. And then ultimately that turns on him. He winds up killing a bunch of people. He set a bunch of people, put some. Now I don't know what he did this to these foxes for, but he set the fox's tail on fire and put them in that wheat field or whatever it was, and let them loose and burn down these people's farmland. Anyway, so then he goes to Gaza. And he sleeps with a prostitute. And then the Gazites, I don't know what you call them, they want to kill him. And then we keep moving on down the line. He falls in love with Delilah. Now, in verse 5, um, and that's a verse not 2 seconds after he don't had the whole situation with having to get out of Gaza because they don't nobody seems to like him. I suspected he seems like he might be quite arrogant. Um, so he meets Delilah and they getting along, and Delilah is approached by a Philistine leader, and they like, look, we give you 1,100 pieces of silver if you can figure out how we can take him down. Because everybody know at this point he's super strong and you can't do anything with him. So she like, cool, I'll figure it out. So she asked him, say, hey, where does your strength lie? He's like, oh, if you tie me up with 7 fresh bowstrings and that have not been dried, I'll become weak. And so she does that when he falls asleep and gives the signal, oh my, the Philistines are here. And then he wake up, boom, break loose out of the strings and then take them down. And they like, girl, what you doing? Like you said this. And so she like, why you mocking me? And then told me lies. And she going on and on. And please just tell me where your strength lies. And so he was like, oh, well, if you tie me up with some rope that has not been used, I will become weak. Same thing. Oh my goodness, the Philistines are here.
Mm.
And boom, he breaks loose. So then She asked again, saying, "How many times this girl got to do this before you get the point?" Um,
Listen,
so
it could
if
be a
you
trap.
if you tie me up with new ropes, then okay, here we go again. Miraculously, the Philistines show up. Oh my God, it's an ambush again.
Who would have thought?
Right. So he breaks the rope. And so at this point, she's like, okay, why you doing this? She's feeling some kind of way, which she should, but she playing the fool right now herself. Cause he don't lie to you 3 times. Why do you keep believing anything he telling you? So Delilah playing the fool as well in this story. But ultimately, in verse 15, she's like, how can you say you love me? This is the third time you have mocked me. And that's why I say she was playing the fool. But anyway, apparently he kept playing games with her because by verse 16, it says, because she nagged him day after day and pleaded with him until she wore him down. And basically, that's when he told her. So now, what kind of sense does this make? After you done told this girl, every time you tell her miraculously the Philistines show up to try to take you to jail or whatever. I don't know if they were trying to kill him or what, but you gonna keep playing games with her? Okay. So then you go ahead and tell her. And what happened, Brian? After you tell him if my hair and scissors have not ever touched my head, and I don't know if they had scissors, but his hair ain't never been cut. What happened after that, Brian?
Chop, chop, snip, snip.
Oh my God, the Philistines are here. And then he jump up like he ready to do something. He don't even realize his hair gone, and they capture him and put his eyes out and throw him in prison. And the rest is history. Now he able to get back at him because his hair grow back, and he had this little kid put him between the two pillars while they parted, and he pushed him down. But that's he played the fool way too many times, acting like he didn't realize this girl that mean him no good. I don't know what was going on. What you think, Brian? Why you think he just kept playing the fool?
See, I don't know if it was love or lust or
Well, they say he loved her, so I'm gonna just go with what they say.
yeah. Let's just go with that. I mean, he just was under that spell that they say happens
Love make
to
you
people.
blind or something.
Yeah, they're just blinded by love
Love wanted
and
to
then blinded for real. So
love. I'm gonna write a poem for love, cause love said y'all ain't gonna put that on me. Don't even
right.
put that on me. I ain't got
That's why I
nothing to do
tried
with
not
you
to.
acting
I
like
tried
that.
not to. Now let me ask you this, because I didn't. I never saw any reference to it. Do we ever know we know what happens to Samson? Do we ever find out? What was Delilah's fate? What happened with her?
I don't recall it, but I bet she didn't get them 1,100 things of silver after all them failed attempts.
Oh, I guarantee you. I mean that
And
was
what's she gonna say? Does she have recourse with? She a woman during these times. If they don't pay her, and they say, "Well, we tried this out in time. We don't got beat up because of you." And Johnny over here with a broke leg, Adam over here still can't see out of his left eye. No, we not paying you. So she may or may not have got the money, and moved on with her life. But I got a feeling, and it's not in the book, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let me say that she didn't
she
get
didn't receive
paid.
her silver. Yeah, yeah. There was no payment made. Mm.
So yeah, but again, both of them was playing the fool because kept playing games
Oh
with
yeah.
you. Because them people could have very well been like, "Girl, you know what? You keep lying, and we're gonna take you out here and kill you, and we'll find some other way to get this information."
Mm.
So that could have just went left for everybody, but it went left for Samson, and ultimately he got his revenge, for lack of a better word, and he while they celebrating, he was able to push the whole building in and cave the whole place in and killed himself and them and killed a bunch of Philistines. So,
Please, just do it one more time. Do the power revere with the Philistines one more time,
oh
please.
my God, the Philistines are here. This is an ambush. Really? Come on. Really? Come on, Delilah. You better than this. Um, next, playing the fool. We got a story. This is another Tamar story, and this is not the same Tamar that was accosted and sexually assaulted by her cousin. This is a different Tamar, and this is a story about Tamar and Judah. Now, Judah is he has some sons. Now, this is Judah from the lineage of, Leah's son. Leah had the kid, and she named one of them Judy. Remember last couple of weeks back. So this Leah's boy. Judah has some son, and this one gets old enough to marry, and he marries. And his name is I guess that's the bit. It's Er. Er marries Tamar. And so Tamar, they living their best life, try to have children, couldn't. At some point, died. So during this time, uh, the rule was like if the brother died, we want him to have a legacy. So if he got another brother, it's his duty to go in, be with the wife, to try to have a child, so that the deceased brother can have a legacy. Well, so the next son that Judah has is Onan, Onan, and it's his duty to go in and try to have a child, like I just said. But he like, no, he pull and pray. You know what pull and pray is?
Tell us.
No, pull and pray is when it's a form of contraception that I advise people against using, but pulling out
Lord.
early. And so he ejaculated on the ground.
Yes. Okay.
And
Yeah,
so that
I
she
didn't go
could,
there
well, this
in
Bible
my mind.
story, this sex
No,
is
I
all in the
understand.
Bible.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
So he ejaculated on the ground, which God was like, this ain't what we do. According to the Bible, God was not pleased with him. That ain't me making this up. And so he wound up dying. And then so Judah got one last little son, and he young, he must not be married age. But what Judah do is like, okay, look, Tamar, go back to your dad's house, and when my youngest son Sheila get of age, I'm gonna give him to you. So we gonna try to get this thing done, which sounds awful, but we're gonna try to get you a child so that can have a seed. Okay, so some time passed, and Judah didn't keep his promise. So then Judah's wife, she get old and die, and he get lonely, and I'm adding this all in on my own. But his wife did die, but he get lonely, and he decide he gonna go and find him a prostitute or something to sleep with. So meanwhile, Tamar, um, you know, she done went on home to live with her daddy or whatever. And I told you the streets be talking no matter where you are. In some kind of way, she don't find out that he is going to Timnah. And so she dresses up and decides she's going to play the harlot. Now, I don't know how she knew that this man wanted to go and find to get it on with somebody, but it worked out that Judah sees her, thinks she's a harlot, and before the dude go down, he like they negotiate. So he's like, I'm gonna give you this young goat, and um, I'm gonna send it back to you. Now come on, bro. And any prostitute worth a grain of salt, no better than you. I will pay you later.
Mm-hmm.
So she like, no, I'm gonna need some collateral. So she's like, how about you give me your insignia ring and that staff, and then I'll keep that. You can send my gold, get your stuff back. He like, cool. So they get it on. He go on home about his business, and he called one of his staff and was like, hey, look, I need you to go down here to Timna and take this goat to this harlot, and she gonna give you my ring and staff, and you got to keep this on the low. Now, but go ahead and make that happen for me. So he's like, all right, dude goes down there, and he's like, no, there ain't no harlot been down here. I don't know what you talking about. We don't have no prostitutes on this in this part of Timna. And so the staffer comes back and like, hey, they said they don't have no prostitute, I don't know. He's like, cool, it's whatever. She can keep, the little ring, the little staff. It's all good. So later, the streets talking. So about 3 months, Judah is told Tamar is pregnant. Now he got the nerve to be self-righteous and it's like, bring her out and so she can be burned. Really,
Mm,
bruh?
mm,
Okay. So Tamar is like, okay, the person to whom these belong is the child's father. And here's a ring, and that's yours. And here's a staff, that's yours. And so then Judah is like, oh man, my bad,
mm,
dog. You know what? She right. And it say in verse 26, she is more righteous than I, since I did not give her my last son. So he knew why she did it. And he didn't want to give Shayla, because I don't know if he thought she was like um bad luck or what, because the other two sons died. Obviously he didn't know that the one ejaculated on the ground. I don't know what happened to her, but he was concerned about Shayla not making it, because it seemed like everybody was trying to get with her. It didn't work out. But so Judah played the fool, and I we, and I don't know if I ever really talked about this with you, but I don't talk about this with other people. When you get in these kind of situations, you gotta have as much to lose as the other person. It seemed to me a ring and a staff, like a signet ring, is something that you use like to decrease something. Like, yes, this is like your signature on something, saying yes, it's okay to do this. And so, because you remember Joshua got that signet ring from the Pharaoh, and they kind of gave him. He was like the second in charge. And I suspect Judah had a lot of property land or something if he had a signet ring. So, um, why would you give her a ring and your staff for a goat?
nope, nope, not a fair trade. I don't know. I, it, mm, I, maybe ghosts were worth more back then. I don't know. I don't know. But to me,
And
that
maybe they were. Maybe you're right. Maybe ghost was worth more than a ring and a staff, but it don't sound like it to me. Uh, and what if it hadn't been Tamar? So what if this somebody else want to blackmail you or do some other malicious thing?
right.
Because
Maybe
you didn't know this was Tamar.
somebody that you didn't know. I mean, I guess he didn't know it was his daughter-in-law. You're right.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Mm,
So Judah
yeah.
played the fool. It worked out. And sometimes it doesn't. And you find yourself in a situation like Samson where your eyes get put out. And that might not be literally. But he lost a lot because he was messing with that girl that already don't showed you who she was. And that makes me go, this is the end of Bible stories. Please try not to play the fool. But this made me go back to what we were talking about before with Breonna Taylor. This is my last time going back to that.
Mm,
So somebody asked me, so how you feeling after hearing the, and I was like, what you mean how I'm feeling? You know that old adage, what's the old adage that everybody says that Maya Angelou says?
when somebody show you who they are, believe them
Okay. So has America showed black people who America is?
over
Why,
and over again.
and so why is it hard for black people to believe America when America has showed us who America is? And that's where I am with this at this point. America has showed me who America is. All the people that's like, oh, this time seemed different. After that 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and all the people were in London and other countries protesting with us. This time seems different. Hmm.
Be clear.
Hmm.
Hillary Clinton was not a very strong candidate, but she didn't lose the presidency because she wasn't a strong candidate. She lost the presidency because Barack Obama was the president before. And there's a lot of people that are yelling and screaming and laughing and cutting up at everything Donald Trump says at all his rallies right now that didn't like him being president, didn't like somebody of color in their White House.
Right. But she also lost because she's a woman.
And
She
that,
could have got over several of those humps, those emails and all of that if she had been a man.
and the third part, black people didn't come out and vote for her. And that's what that goes back to. We need all
Part of it,
everyone.
the predators, not it wasn't just predator. What kind of predator? It was an adjective in front of it. some kind of predators that she was calling black men, but she never addressed any of this. Even if
Right.
you changed your tune or had,
Oh no, I
insight and like,
understand. I understood. I understood why they didn't. I'm just saying the
no, but I'm
numbers
just
show.
saying somebody might not be clear on the facts of what went down.
Right. Yeah.
And so, but at the end of the day, Brian, black people only make up 13%, about 13% of the population.
As we
White
talked
people make
about,
up about 60%. So if all of us go and vote, we still
outcome
shouldn't
is
be able
still
to
gonna be what it
flip,
is. Yeah.
right, because 60% of whites vote. I mean, not all vote, but 60% of the population is white. And so
Hmm.
even if 25% of them vote, like they still will have the bigger voice.
Yeah. We
Uh,
spoke about that.
and I'm
The
not supposed to be
percentages
calling
on our.
people white anymore. I'm using the word melanemic. You make sure I
Well,
do better.
and this is hilarious that just came up right there because as I talked about last week, I'm going through and making a little bit of a highlight to end our 100th episode on
Hmm.
of all our episodes, and you you are on a highlight on one of the highlights you referred to uh refer to
Oh
white
Lord.
people as people of non-color. And you would said it in a very serious moment. You were on one of your soapboxes and you were going after it. And when you said it, I stopped and I went because it's all I heard. Like I was hearing what you were saying, but when you said people of non-color, I stopped it. You could hear me say, and this gets cut out of the actual episode, I believe, but you hear me stop and go. Did you just say people of non-color? And it made you laugh for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, melanemic is my new word, y'all. Um,
Melanin.
I didn't come up with this word. I got this word from ah, Blue Eyed Brown Eyed Project.
Hmm.
What's her name? Uh,
Yes. Oh, I'm looking at her face.
so I got that word from her, and she was like, uh, what is her name?
Jane Elliott.
Jane Elliott.
Hmm.
So she was doing an interview with somebody, and she said melanemic, and she was like, like when you iron deficient, they call you anemic, and so she
Hmm.
was like, white people basically melanin deficient, so melanemic, and I was like, that's it, I'm going with melanemic. So
Yeah.
melanemic people, y'all get out here and vote and do the right thing, cause they ain't just gonna take black people's rights. These civil rights and all this stuff, cause that civil rights are not just for black people. Other people that don't look like us are beneficiaries of things that are in that law. And Congress, Mitch McConnell has not taken that up to renew it, cause they try. It's a mess. It's a mess, y'all. Get buckled up, y'all. I told y'all, and I don't know if this was one of our episodes, but I said I feel like we finna be in a whole Jane Patterson novel. I don't know
Yeah. I remember that.
if
Yeah.
Patterson, if Patterson, John Patterson, that man name ain't John Patterson. What's
James.
James Patterson?
Yes.
Couldn't write this
Nope.
with all these twists and turns.
Have
Seven hundred and
mercy.
fifty
Help me.
dollars in taxes paid.
And nothing in 10 out of 15 years.
How
Get
you
out
pull
of
that
here.
off?
By by putting out that he made less, that they took a
That
loss.
that he took an
Oh,
L, which he
and
probably did.
well,
But
then
he'll
how
let you
you
tell you
still a
he a good
billionaire?
businessman.
Yes, and he's still considered a billionaire. Come on now. Come on now.
In image
Hmm. In word of his mouth,
and
that's about
word
it.
only. Y'all keep hope
Whew.
alive.
All right. Well, as always, I'm one of your hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with.
I will bless the Lord at all times, Davis.
And this has been the Mac and T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mac and T Show. This is the Mac and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mac and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mac and T Show.